So as you see from what I'm opening here, this is I am using that's just in case you have no idea. I am using okay, there is no zero. Why I'm writing zero? That's unbelievable. I am using this book. Now this book for me it's very powerful, and as you see it's very helpful. It has everything that you need from listening to speaking. Adding to that, there are so much exercises and there is so much examples that you need. So through this online live stream, I am going to teach you from this book. Now I finished this book 3 times, so I hope I can give you what you need. Without any further ado, I prepare for you guys a sketch or something. I don't know what do you call it. It's this one. I prepared this for you, fellas. This. Now we're going to talk about speaking. So get ready, buckle up, and let's get right into it. This is like what I'm doing on my YouTube channel. Just get right into it. So you have this chart, or this, I don't know, this is, I just drew it very fast before the podcast. This is for making it very easy for you to understand the speaking criteria. We have to understand the listening, the speaking, the writing, and the reading. We need to understand what are the things that's going to come to us in the exams. So you need to be very sure what are the type of the question that will come in the IELTS, because IELTS, as we know, it's a standard, it's a norm, so it will be the same. Maybe there will be a little changes, but the changes will be only in the topics. There is diverse, a huge amount of topics in IELTS, and so we have to understand the fact that every exam there are types, there are sections. So for speaking here you have number 1. Let me draw on it so that you can see what I am talking about. Here, I guess this I just messed it up. Number 1, boşver, forget it. Number 1 is intro. So when we go to speaking, we have exactly 14 minutes. Now 14 minutes, you don't have to rush into answering. You have to give a full answer, and in the same time, you have to understand what time you are going to talk for a long time and what time you're going to talk for a little time. Now, the examiner will tell you that you will have that time and you will start from this time and I will stop you at this time. You will find that. But how you fill this stuff, what you're going to talk. So first one, as you see from this board, number 1 here, this is, I don't know what's going on here, but number 1 is intro GQ. GQ is general questions. So he's going to ask you about normal stuff. How are you? How are you today? For example, about your work, about your hobbies, leisure time. You talk about like a small sentence. You will not talk so much. This is the first part, is normally just like intro, general questions. It will not be very hard for you. However, those from about intro and general question, the time will be only for 4 to 5 minutes. So you have to relax a bit and don't make your answers very short. Try, if I ask you what are you, or where are you working, or what is your occupation, you tell me I am an electrical engineer. Okay, you can say that I am an electrical engineer. Finish. Or you can say I have been working in a company for 15 years and I am working as an electrical manager, electrical engineer in that company, and I love the atmosphere of the company, and I love how people and my colleagues communicate, how we talk about different topics, how we find so much solutions for our machineries and stuff. So you can talk so much about just one little thing that he asks you, which is, what is your occupation? You just talked about, let's say you talked about what you love about your work. What is your work, your position at your company, and you talked about your friends and everything. So you talked so much. That is always better to feel comfortable when you speak. It's very essential. Now, this is for one. One is just intro. Now we have two. This is a long term. So basically, long term here, he will hand you over a piece of paper, and there are 3 or 4 questions or anything that he can ask you. For example, questions about animal. What is your favorite animal? Do you like pets or you don't like pets? Do you think people should raise, should have pets at their houses? So this is all 3. He will give you a piece of paper, and you need to prepare to answer those questions, and the preparation time lasts for 1 minute only. So you will have the paper, and you will have another piece of sheet paper, and you need to write headlines. 3 questions or 4 questions, just headlines, what you want to talk about. After that, after 1 minute, the examiner will stop you, and he will tell you to talk about the animals, about the question that mentions. Now, in this case, you must address all the questions in the card. You must, because the best thing about IELTS is skills. You have to comprehend the idea that each dot point that you need to answer, you must address it fully. So this is the part 2. This is the long term. So you have to talk 3 to 4 minutes about this card, about the animals. Now, some of you wonder what I will talk about. Well, you can start from what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite pet? And you can describe it a bit. You need to show to the examiner that you have the capability to express and to describe an animal, even though the words can be a little hard. Let's go with an elephant. Elephant, he's got tusk. The long thing here, it's called tusk. And the long one is the trunk. And there is, if you go to tiger, there is fangs, there is claw, and so much things, so much, we call them lexical sentences. This is the using vocabularies so that you can show to the examiner the comfortability of yourself while you are talking. So describing an animal, then going to pets. What's your favorite? And now choose an animal that it is easy to describe and in the same time you love. You see, when you talk, you need to be sincere. You know, if you're talking from your heart, you can express your ideas. You can improvise very easily. So it will not be very hard for you there. And now, the third part is as important as the first and the second. Now, analytic discussions, what does that mean? Analytic discussions is this. he will give you a card on task 2, as we mentioned. Now you see, in number 3, he will either ask you about the card, the question, extra questions, extensions from the card, and you need to express, talk, communicate. Now the idea is, some people repeat. Now repetition, same vocabularies aren't good. You need to be aware of that. I have this paper. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Those are all my notes for you guys. Today I'm going to share it with you. So you have to talk about something for 4 to 5 minutes, and the examiner will stop you there. Talking about either the animal, the pets that we talk about in the card, for example. It can be anything. It can be about history. It can be about geography. You need to expand your area of the things that you know, the general information. You need to be able to collect. You need to read. As an IELTS student, you must have the ability to look at the news, look at the TV program shows, late night shows, British, American. I prefer British. If you don't like, go American. But you must get back to British because it's essential, and IELTS is all in British accent. And so you need to read about everything that you can put your hands on. Book, story, novel, article, magazine, I don't know, babies magazine, football magazine, news, you name it. You need to be aware that when you go to IELTS, you need to be prepared to see so much topics. And if you are an academic, that's just like a whole new story. Now, we always focus on fluency and coherence. When you talk, you have to prepare your ideas. Like, you know, when you watch a movie, there is a plot. So you need, sir, to make sure that you organize your idea. When I am talking about, for example, this is a very easy example, like going out of apartment, going to bus station. I need to take you with me to the road. So I am in apartment, I'm wearing my clothes and everything, putting cologne, perfume and stuff, like brushing my hair and everything, leaving my apartment, closing the door. There is like there is a chain, like there is a ladder that you can follow. You understand what's going on. Organizing your ideas are very essential when you speak. Now the length, the speaking length, it depends on the examiner. He will tell you what the minutes, but don't commit to that. Speak. Don't make the examiner stop you where you are attempting to use a vocabulary and you're like, oh my god, I could not use it. Use it, use as much as you need, but don't over use the vocabularies, because some vocabularies that you don't need to use in a situations, and because you know it, you're attempting to use it and you used it but in a wrong way. Now that can be a very bad attempt. When you need to learn new vocabularies, as there was, I believe there was a lesson vocabularies before, you need to be sure that you learn the vocabulary from the context so that you can know where does this vocabulary used. And there is a package of a whole new stuff about vocabularies, if you ask me. Here, express and justify opinions. If he's asking you, for example, do you believe that pets are important? for a person to raise, you need to express yourself. Give your personal opinion. No problem if it was negative or positive. Remember always, the IELTS examiner always focused on your English. He doesn't focus on your where you come from or your nationality or anything or your beliefs. So just about English. So make sure to express your feelings, your opinion. Discuss and speculate. Discuss and speculate. You need to be able to communicate, to talk. Now, I recommend you attend to events, attend to a group meeting or friends or so on, so that you can have the ability to give and take thoughts, give and take ideas, becoming an open mind. As an IELTS student, you need to be an open mind because there is so much going on and you need to expand. As I said before, you need to expand your informations. And now, about speculation, you can talk about something like I am talking about football. Like I say, like football is like a spectacular athletics game. It's amazing, and we have so much famous footballers nowadays. But back in the day, there were not so much, and even the social media and the networks and everything were not very popular. So the football players were not as popular as the football players in these times. So you're talking about this, and after you speculate about the future, what do you think? Can you foresee the future? Like, okay, in the future, maybe there will be a football, but there will be a space football. Are we going to be on moon playing football and stuff? No, he's not going to, as I said before, he's not going to argue with you. He just wants to see your ideas and everything. It would be very beautiful. Now, 3 things I don't want you to use. 3 things are no. Number 1, long pauses. Like I speak and I stop like this. Talk. If you don't know what to say next, you may delay a bit. For example, I am talking about flight and traveling, but I forgot what is the place that's between the chairs. It's the corridor, the aisle. I forgot. So I want to remember. So I was like, so as you know, I believe that airplane and I am making it slow. When I make it slow, my mind is working to remember those words, to remember something, or to improvise into another something. Those are very good skills. You can say, well, I believe that, well, as you know, and make it as long, but don't fake it. Make it as natural, because he will know, of course. Repetition. Try as much as possible to add new words to your speaking. Now, practicing is essential. Practicing is important. Practicing is necessary. Practicing, it must be done. You need to practice. Now, you can go online, practice with friends and so on, or Cambly or any other stuff. Well, in Just English, it's very amazing where you can find a very native speakers that you can communicate and express your ideas with. It would be very amazing. You can time right. So, memorize unnatural. Some of the students believe that, believe that if we memorize vocabularies or memorize sentences would be better for you. It will be unnatural. I will feel that you are not comfortable talking to me. Now, if I prepare everything from A to Z with the preparation, it will take a long time. And in IELTS, you can't predict what you are going to talk about. But some sentences, it can be a standard, it can be a norm, but still preparation preparation is perfect, but memorizing is bad. Memorizing, it makes you commit to a script, a line, and you need to get out of that and get comfortable, because you are going to talk about multiple stuff, not just one stuff. Now, as I said before, as far as we finished this part, we are jumping to Baron, my favorite, my gorgeous book, Baron. I like to give value to books, you know, like my beautiful, spectacular, super amazing. So as you see here, let me check here a bit. Okay. Now, as you see, in this book, we will talk about very, very big stuff. So this is the speaking model. We have a quick study and stuff, and speaking tips and so on. And here you've got the introduction and interview, the skills, talking about yourself, organizing a topic, discussing a topic, verb tenses, sequence, comparing, contrasting, like however, nevertheless, but, when, because, after, you can put so much stuff there. Explaining, describing, as we talked before about animals, responding to follow-up questions. Follow-up questions is basically the analytic discussion that we talked about, which it were you are talking about animals, and that's the task 2, and task 3 will ask you about animals. That's a follow-up question. Discussions, general speaking skills, tactics, clarifications. And always in this book, the best thing about it, when you go through it, you will find so much exercises, and in the end, of course, you will get a answer explanations. Why is this answer the way it is? Why it cannot be like this? He will explain to you the answer. I don't know if that's not perfect, what it is, you know. So as we talk, 4 or 5 minutes for answer a question about yourself, 3-4 minutes talking about a topic, 1 minute preparation, 1-2 minutes speaking, and 1 minute of follow-up questions. Talk on a topic presented on a task card that we talk about, and after that 4 or 5 minutes, discuss with the examiner issues related to the topic in part 2. So he's going to talk about the card as we spoke. And now here, just like a little exercises, write the answers in the examiner's question for part 1. So this is just questions that you need to answer. In the book, you will find them. Let's talk about, let's see, why I can't, yes, here. Let's talk about where you live. Can you describe your neighborhood? Now here, it can be very, very easy. I am living in Istanbul, Turkey. My neighborhood is nice. That's horrible. For me, that's bad. Now, as we talked here, you have 4 to 5 minutes. You've got 4 to 5 minutes. Okay? So 4 to 5 minutes, express, talk. Let's go from your hometown. I was living in LA and it was perfect. There I was raised, I was born and raised. I was raised by my mother. My father was not there so much. And she worked very hard for me. She was working 5 jobs and blah, blah, blah. Don't make it so much long, but make it understandable. And jump from one situation to another. Make a coherence to it, you know? So I've been living in LA. My mother raised me. And I am now, as a teacher, living in Istanbul, Turkey. And I'm living in, I don't know, what I don't know about neighborhoods, but you know, for example, I'm living in Kadıköy, and it's very a very spectacular like neighborhood. Let's go Borough Street. My street was amazing. The people were very friendly. We were having every morning breakfast together. We meet in a small restaurant at the end of our street, and all the people of my age gather there, and we eat breakfast. We talk about politics, and you get what I mean. So make it not that long, but don't make it so short, you know? What is your advantage of living there? What's my advantage? Now, advantage, it can be, advantage is you have to, that's other tip, synonyms. You need to be aware that you will see so much related words and synonym. So that here the vocabulary plays a major role. Advantage is you're living in a place where everything is there, and that's an advantage for you. It's something very powerful for you, which means so much restaurant in your place, so you can eat in everywhere you want. It's very perfect. There is restaurant, mall, shopping center, and everything. So that's advantage because you're home near everywhere. You can go to the main street, you can go to the restaurant, you can come here, you can go there. You will not take long time. People, for example, if you are living in the center of the city, it will be very good. So that is an advantage. So what's your advantage in living in your country, for example, in your neighborhood or city, for example, Kadıköy? You start to talk about where you live. You start to talk, and after this is, what's the best thing about it? I don't know. Maybe I say like Kadıköy is beautiful because there is a big sea, and I see so much tourists. I communicate with people. It's very beautiful. Understanding where they come from, how they came here, and why they came here. What is so attracting about Kadıköy and everything, and just communicate. Just make an answer where you make the examiner feel comfortable. Okay, he's answering the questions, and he's not just answering the questions, he's adding his own taste to the answer. That would be very nice. What is a disadvantage of living there? Maybe it can be because there is so much people. It's always crowded, always traffic. Disadvantage, of course, is the opposite of advantage. Disadvantage is something bad. Yani, there are so much things good and beautiful about Kadıköy, but other stuff can be bad. For now, there's crowded places because of our gorgeous pandemic. Okay, number 4. Let's talk about jobs. What kind of jobs do you have? And so on. So when you go to Berlin, you will check that one. Okay, here we are getting to the practice of speaking, and I don't want we get to it. Let's continue our tips so that we can jump to another place. Now, I'm going to tell you about the things that you need so that you can practice your English language, because in IELTS practicing is essential. And you ask me why you use essential, because essential make me feel comfortable when I say essential. It make me give you the value of how much important practicing is, you know? So he say here, practice as much as you can, and recording your voice. For me, I think recording your voice, listening to your voice, and listening to your accent, and listening to your vocabularies and English. And after listening, you will have a big picture of your capability when you speak. So you will see the big picture. You will have the advantage of hearing what people will listen when you speak. So you need to do that, because in one way or another, you will see yourself that you need extra vocabularies. You need extra complex vocabularies. You need business vocabularies. You need advertisement vocabularies. You need news vocabularies. There is so much vocabularies that you need to lay your hands on and grab them and just put them here and here and never let go, you know? Now, memorizing, as I said, it's bad, but with practice, you can't forget words. Here are little stuff that you need to be aware of. Linking words. Linking words, it can be so many. For example, you can link two sentences together by contrasting or comparing two situations and so on. Now, I will discuss with you so much stuff when it comes to IELTS about comparing, and so much words like as well as far as something happening, this is happening. That's the kind of balance. I love rainy days. However, I love going outside. It's like comparing. It's bad. This is very bad. It's raining, but I love going out in the rain. You know, very silly example. Don't worry about it. Yes. Hesitation. You need to be able, when you speak to people, that comes with practice. You will have some students I have, they've got fear of speaking. Okay, I can speak English, but I am very scared. Maybe I will do mistake here. Maybe I will do mistake there. That does not matter. Trust me. Mistakes, what makes you perfect. Okay? So try as much as possible, and trust me, you'll do just fine. Yeah. Lexical resources. Lexical resources. Those are the stuff that we were talking about. Lexical is vocabularies. So, you need to understand the following. To improve your language and to speak freely and comfortably, you need to watch news. You need to watch, I don't know, movies, celebrity programs, short night story, documentaries. What you like the most, go and grab it and try to comprehend it, understand it, and write the vocabularies that you need so that it can be very essential for you. Now, the range of vocabularies. Collocations. For example, phone call. I can't say do a phone call. Do a phone call is wrong. This is what collocations mean. We basically, what we do, we make a phone call. So make a phone call. Don't say do a phone call, because we don't do a phone call. We make a phone call. For example, lion, the tiger, or any animal that you have in mind. Now, in your own language, every animal has a sound. So when lion in the forest, like this, you don't have to use shout. Shouting normally for human beings. But when the lion roars. R-O-A-R-S. The lion roars. The sound of the lion, when he opens his mouth, it's called roars. So we have to focus on collocations. This stuff are very important. Let's say there is a part where you don't have the vocabularies that you need sometimes. Now, generally, I believe there were a study where they figure out that there is 80% of the English language is the common words, 80 or 85%. I'm not very sure. It's between 75 and 85. I'm not very sure. It's between that percentage. They say those are the vocabularies that people comprehend, that people communicate, they use it, the common, the general. And now you have that little percentage between, let's say between 10 and 15 percentage, this amount where you can use the words that are academic. For example, valid, initial, valid and initial, that's the best thing come into my mind. Those words are academic, and so much other words I can't remember now. Let's I didn't write them down here, so yeah. Initial and valid, those words are academic, so you have a percentage of academic words. And on another hand, the little percentage that you've got, like 2 or 3, I guess, it's the words that even the native speakers, they don't have any idea about. Those words, it can be academic, it can be used very uncommonly. So yeah, it's between here and there. So we have this sentence for you guys. Today is very sunny day. Today is a very sunny day. So very sunny, it's quite simple, quite easy. So the less common words, let's say, that people don't use commonly, boiling. Today is boiling day. When you say boiling, which means there is a sun somewhere, you know? So boiling, blistering, and sweltering, blistering, boiling. Now, attempting using those words, very important for you. But don't try to use words for the first time. Anyone can understand that you are using it for the first time, so be careful there. As I said, remember always using the word in its correct place. You can't use the words in a different place because that will affect the context of your sentence. So the best way to understand vocabulary is read a book or a magazine or a news article, because there you can see a word in the context. You will understand why they use this word, you know? So that's why you need to understand the context of it. Because there is so much misunderstanding about vocabularies, and we need to overcome that so that we can achieve band 9 or 8. Well, if you ask me, band 9 is not impossible. You can do that very easily. Now, here is the best thing that, ladies and gentlemen, that you can do is understanding vocabularies in a group, which means news vocabularies. Let me go and check out news vocabularies. Let me go and check out sport vocabularies. Let me go and check out home vocabularies. Let me go and check out. So the idea of doing that, you will accidentally bump into new words, like, okay, I know this word, but why they use it here? Let me go do search about it. It's very important. You need to understand how, where, and how to put it in a sentence that can give a good meaning. After all, when you are wanting IELTS, you are not a native speaker, so you need to be able to understand how they use the words and where they use the words. It's very, very, very important. Okay, synonyms, related words. As you see, I am focusing on this point. Synonyms and related words can be very helpful for you so that you can have the ability to express yourself more details. When you speak in about something or about topic, you need to be sure that you are discussing it in details. You don't need your examiner to see you that you are only focusing on the outside of it. You don't go deep inside the details and everything. Now the speaking is all done. So I will start with you guys in details now. We're going to the first part, which is the listening part. We will do listening here. You can hear. We can do anything. Make your life much more easy. This is the introduction, the skills that you need. Now the listening is very, very, very good. For me, that's what I think, because it covers everything that you need to know about listening part in IELTS. Okay, here you have, we also discussed that before in other videos. If you go and check them out, make sure to search for IELTS videos. You see that we discussed this one. Vocabularies can be American, can be British. You need to be aware of that, and you need to understand both. Here you have pavement, and let me highlight it for you. Sidewalk here, and here you've got, okay, sidewalk, pavement, quite different. I always prefer, and I always recommend my students to concentrate on British English, because if you focus on American, some people stick to American and never try to open their mind to British, and that is wrong. I need you to understand and comprehend both vocabularies for a better score. So city center, downtown, check and check. Now that's a big difference. Now if you say this, if you see this word, you will not be able to recognize it. So you need to check that out. Check room, cloakroom, colleague, university, colleague, school. You see British, they don't use school. American, they use school. Left college, graduated from college. You see here, cell phone, mobile phone, movie theater, cinema, movies and film. Now, normally, movies is always an American, but somehow they put it here, so I guess Americans are using it now. Parking garage, lot, car park, pharmacy, chemistry, college major, subject, and math and mathematics. Math, you can do that, no problem. Here are the suffixes. I don't know, is it clear? Do I need to zoom it, guys? I'm feeling like you are not alive. Anyone on my broadcast? Come on, say hi. Say hi. Come on, you can do it, guys. Say hi. You know you can do it? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, that was bad. Oh, you are bad followers. Oh, okay. Thank you. Here we go. I take back bad followers back. Okay, come on. So you have here the suffixes and prefixes. Now, prefixes comes with the start of the word and suffixes in the end. British and American. Can you see the differences? One letter. It's either transformed to another letter or it's basically gone. Let's go here for O-U-R and O-R, like favorite. Favorite in American, there is no U. Favorite in British, there is U. Analyze, this one. Analyze. The S one is in British, the Z in American. And remember, Z is American, Z is British. Also, there's pronunciation there. Am. Can you tell me what is this? Am and am. Can you give me a word where when we are using this as a suffix in the end? Do you have anything on your mind? Am and am. Any word? I will count to 10. Give me word with the suffix amme. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and quarter, 9 and half, half and quarter, 10. Program. Program in American, it's written as program, just one M. In a British, program written with double M and E. Now that's a big difference. You need to check it out. Check and check, of course. Here, ER and RE. Center. Center in American, it's ER. In a British, RE. So you need to be aware of the fact that there are so much differences between British and American, but you need to check British more. Let's go. Okay. We will do the following. The blank is page now. We will get right into the listening part, and we will listen together and everything. And we are starting with listening, but I need to take a break a bit for a few minutes, and I will get back to what we discussed, and we will start with listening part, and we will listen, and we will do everything together. Okay? Make sure to show me a little bit more energy and communicate. If you have any question about IELTS, make sure to drop them down under the live stream and we can answer them together. So a few minutes break and we will continue our lesson. So I guess I see you after a few minutes. See ya.